Hi, David.
Hi, Karat.
Tell us, do external factors affect risks more than internal factors or local context?
I think the answer in theory is no. I think there's no reason why things that come to us from outside should have potentially a bigger impact than things that are internally generated. But in practice, I think there probably is a difference. I think in terms of our awareness and our sensitivity, very often we're much more externally focused than internally. So when we're thinking about our business and we do perhaps a SWOT analysis as part of our strategy development, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats, although that is supposed to have both an internal and external focus, you'll often find the external side is much better developed than the internal. When we're thinking about risks to our projects, we think about them. We think about the suppliers and the subcontractors and the customers and the users and the regulators and all of them out there bringing risks to our project, both threats and opportunities actually. And we don't think so much about internally generated risks. And so I think there is a focus to look outside more than to look inside. And we have a kind of a blind spot when we think about internally generated risks. Risks that come from the system, risks that come from our policies and procedures, risks that come from our people and the way that we're organized, risks that come from our technology and our infrastructure within the organization or within the project or within the society. And so I think in practice, we allow external factors to become more important than internal or local just because we're not looking at them. But what that means is that we give attention to the external factors and we manage them, whereas the internally generated risks, because we don't see them so clearly, we don't give them attention, and then they actually have a bigger influence because they're not being managed. So I think it's an interesting question. At first thought you say, oh, they're obviously equal, there's no reason why they should be different. But in practice, I think because we look outside more than we look inside, and we pay attention to identifying and managing risks from the outside more than the inside, the internally generated risks end up having more influence than the ones from outside.
I agree with that thought. Yes, I think it's human nature. We first look outside, then just looking inside and weighing out what the risks internally are.
But of course we talked about emotional intelligence, and the idea of emotional intelligence is first know yourself.
Yes.
So we should be looking inside as individuals and then inside as project teams or as management teams or as organizations.
Yeah.
Who am I? What's happening in terms of my attitude to risk, my risk preferences, my risk appetite, and why is that there? Yeah. And that idea of awareness and appreciation and assessment to say, well, I need to get myself straight first before I can start looking at anybody else. First remove the dust from your own eye before you remove the plank from your neighbour's. And also that also applies to risk. So I think emotional intelligence starts with me and then comes to us and then goes to them. And in terms of assessment of risk and sources of risk, factors that give rise to risk, really we should be doing it the other way around. We've got that external horizon scanning. We have good techniques for looking outside. Let's now begin to look inside with a bit more focus. And we might be surprised at what we find, both potential bad things and potential good things that we're overlooking, that we could manage proactively to great advantage.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.